Dude, I want a little surveillance van where I can keep an eye on things happening around town. Little monitors, Spider-Man. Just keep an eye on things. When things go wrong.
It's kind of creepy.
It's super creepy. I'm a little concerned that somebody else has a spy van and they're watching me.
I was playing Metal Gear Solid earlier because it's Metal Gear Solid, and there was a part where they were talking about the enemies.
I don't believe you for a second.
There was a part where he was talking.
Someone's trying to. You're trying to earn your gamer card. I'm not appreciating it.
I was half paying attention to the story, but all I heard, when I zoned in and actually heard it, all I heard was Snake say, "Pineapples." It made me laugh a lot. I don't know what he was talking about. I think he was talking about enemy guns or enemy infantry, but something satisfying about hearing Snake say, "Pineapple."
Pineapple. Let's start the show. This is PSVR GamesCast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I know this has to be one of those days. Must be Wednesday, because I feel like getting my groove on. My name is Brian Paul from the channel right here, PSVR Without Parole, and the guys to my right, the boys. Well, the boy, AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, what is up, Dave? Cartoon Dave. What is up, Game Cats? Guys, happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Hopefully all of you have been doing tons of fracking humping out there. And if not, you need to be doing some more, man. Some people I know that could be using some more fracking humping in their life.
I think everybody who has fracked needs a little bit more fracking in their life.
Yeah.
We need twice as much fracking.
So I'm going to go ahead and kick the show off with a fracked code. North America. Good luck, guys. Thank you. End Dreams of Jimmy Bauer. Let's get it. Yes.
Oh, you're not going to read it off. You put it in the chat.
Yeah.
I was so confused. I was like, this is so exciting. Is he going to read it off piece by piece? What's going to happen? Awesome. Yeah, cool, man.
Hasib Mirza says pineapple is his safe word.
That's a good point. Yes. Right. It doesn't come up in conversation very frequently, unless you like it on your pizza, which is a whole nother conversation. Dude, we got so much to talk about today. This has been such an insane week as far as PlayStation VR is concerned, and it's just getting more and more crazy as the days go by. So we want to get the show started as soon as possible, but we also want to do a little bit of housekeeping before that. First and foremost, guys, if you're not on our Discord, make sure you click the link in the description below and come join us over there. That's where this conversation and conversations like it happen 24/7. That's where multiplayer meetups happen. That's where our nightly box VR sessions get organized, and that is where that's where I hang out. At least I don't know about you guys. Lots of good stuff happening over there. Also, Donnie does question of the day. Lots of reasons to stop by. Also, if you want your name on this, little scroll down below, patreon.com/withoutprogames. I gotta be honest, man. I stayed up all night. We'll get to I Expect You to Die 2 later. But I stayed up all night playing I Expect You to Die 2. So if I seem a little bit tired, it's because I just woke up like a half an hour ago. Because all night, man, all night. I didn't want to come into this show without having played the entire game, and I played it through in one sitting. So
I'm with you, man.
So I'm waking up, guys. I'm having my first cup of coffee right here. So good morning, happy morrow to you all.
I'm with you, man. I stayed up all night too. I can't wait to talk about it. We got a full review. It's been not only a crazy couple days, Brian, it's been a crazy summer so far. Think about the amount of games and all that's come out since Sniper Elite VR, and just, wow, just overwhelming. I mean, there's still more games on the way, which is awesome. Cannot wait.
Where are you at for your most anticipated game right now? I know that we kind of go over this pretty frequently, but then another week goes by and games have come out and then there's less to be excited about. So where are you at? What's the one you're most excited for now?
Man, I don't want to leave anybody hanging because I feel like there's so many. I mean, there's Song in the Smoke, there's Wanderer, there's After the Fall, there's Zenith VR, the first VR MMO coming to PSVR. Like, holy shit, man. There's a lot. There's a lot I'm excited about.
That game's so not coming out this year.
Zenith?
Yeah. Oh God. There's no way. I mean, I like every time I check in on them and see where they're at, like on the Quest and PC versions. I'm like, this is nice. Good luck. Like, I really, really want that game to be amazing, but I just think they're way further out, especially as far as the PlayStation VR version is concerned, than I think anybody's aware of. That's my guess. I could be totally off base. Maybe they're developing it in tandem. Maybe it's all happening at the same time. I highly doubt it. I remember the game we haven't talked about, Desolation, for a while, but those guys over there.
I'm not very excited about that game.
No, because it's more of a 360 horror experience, right? Or 360 horror adventure. It's less of a VR thing, but those guys have been saying forever that their game is coming out, and Lumen, that's right, Lumen, and they just kind of announced that their PC version is coming out soon. And then they're gonna start on the PlayStation VR port, and I was like, guys, right? So it's like there's definitely games out there that we know are coming to PSVR, but that are probably just a little bit, probably just coming a little bit later than we expect them to. I gotta say, man, yeah, Song in the Smoke is probably where I'm hanging my hat on right now. That's the one. I feel really, I feel like that's gonna be like.
Cats are excited about that one, man.
Yeah, I feel like as VRAF experiences go, I feel like that's the one. I want to be shooting a bow and arrow. I want to be, I feel like I want to be in that world, and I think they're going to deliver on that.
I think I'm ready for some more zombie action with After the Fall. I think but yeah, I'm super excited, man.
Yeah, After the Fall is probably second. I can't wait to pull out my aim controller again and do some co-op multiplayer with you guys. All right. So, we do have an announcement. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting, but as of this Friday, we're finally going to deliver on something that we're a few months late on, and that's our next top 25 list. So make sure you guys are here. These things always last a long time. They're never a simple, straight shot. What happens is that we all come to the table with our top 25 list. We put them up on the screen, and then we basically just fucking duke it out. And we try to take these 75 games and cram them down into 25, and it's usually a pretty crazy battle. We're usually not friends by the end of it, but it's always a lot of fun. We
have to remind people this top 25 is a bloodbath, guys. And just the hype, like LC 2502 beats the musical game cat. Top 25 hype. That's right. Get ready for blood. Because we're all friends here, but we argue like we're not friends, and stuff, and it confuses a lot of people sometimes. But no, we are best friends, in fact, and it's so much fun. We're just passionate about what we believe are the best games, and we try to use all of the reasoning behind each and every little placement of them. It's super fun, and it's one of my favorite events that we do, and I'm glad that we pushed off the last one, because quite frankly there was only like maybe one at most new game, and now there's there are a lot of new games that are going to be contending for this top 25 list, and that's going to be really interesting. In addition to that, all the games that have gotten updates.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and we usually do it every 3 months, and and like you said, we pushed it off a little bit. We're a couple months late. I think this is going to be a really, really good one. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys tune in. Hopefully not a whole lot of news happens between now and then, because we don't want to have like a full GAMESCAST and then go into the top 25 list. But make sure you guys brew your coffee and shit, because it's going to be a squeaker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be real intense. All right.
Awesome, man. See you Friday for that.
Yes. But moving on, dude. If you noticed our thumbnail, we mentioned something about possibly a new Spider-Man experience coming our way. AJ, why do we think this might be a thing?
Let me tell you, Brian and Game Cats. So the last two movies that have come out, there has been a virtual reality experience for the Spider-Man movies, because Sony owns that IP, and they also own PlayStation VR. And so, every single time there's been one of these movies, there's been a new experience. The first one was not so good. The last one, even though it was kind of cheaply made, kind of janky, and like unfinished, undercooked, severely undercooked. It was like more of like a tech demo-y kind of thing. I thought it was awesome, and I wanted more. So yesterday, I think it was, there was the brand new debut trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home, which looked pretty cool, by the way. And so we have to ask the question, will there be another third experience this time?
It's a tough question to answer, right? Because I felt like there's sort of been, as far as experiences go, a natural progression so far. The first one basically let you stand on a rooftop and shoot webs, right? Like, oh, break that, do this, pick this up, whatever. It was about as basic as it gets. I know some people out there loved it. I was like, this is boring as hell. I was like, this shouldn't even exist. Even as a free experience, I felt like it wasn't worth my time. But then you're right. The last one was great. It kind of gave you like this open world feel where you could web sling around the city. And it was difficult. I actually had a problem getting into it because I've got a little bit fear of heights. And so I'm just like desperately clinging on to every building that comes my way. I'm like just shooting with both hands. And everyone in the chat's like, how come he's not doing one hand at a time? I was like, because I'm like 200 feet off the ground and it's fucking scary. Okay. I'm like holding on for dear life. And then once I got the hang of it and was able to like, there were some really good web slinging mechanics in that. It felt good just to swing around the city. But there wasn't a whole lot else going on. It was like, oh, find some collectibles and shit. And then there was like this little bit of combat, and the combat didn't feel good. So I guess the question is like, what would we want added? What would we want to see in a new one that we didn't see in the first two?
It's actually a good question that I wasn't prepared for. Very good question.
Got to think on your feet here, buddy. Come on.
That's the hard hitting question right there, because I don't know. I mean, the only thing I could think of to do more would be to have like another boss fight, or I don't know. I don't know how you'd one up the last one unless you just polished it more. And I'm curious also to see who would make who's gonna make it as well. I don't even know who made the last one.
Yeah, I mean,
story, maybe some more story tie-ins, but the movie is typically the story, the experiences. I got everything I wanted from the last one, minus it being a polished experience, because I'm not the greatest when it comes to heights, but when in VR, yeah, I love that rush, that adrenaline, and I ran the hell off that roof and was just like, woo, and it was like a thrill ride, man.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. To be honest with you, like, it would be great if they gave us another experience. That's fine, but I think at a certain point you have to say, well, what are you doing here? Like, is this really helping promote the movies? Because that seems what these experiences are for, is to help promote the movies. But come on, really, who out there has a VR headset and saying, oh, I had no idea this movie was a thing, and like this experience is going to convince me to go see the movie. I don't feel like if that's what they're trying to do, then it's not working. Yeah. Right, there's no point in it. Like, one single trailer on YouTube is going to do way more than any VR experience. And so I do like that they're sort of trying to merge the two, and say, hey, if you're excited about the movie, then go put on a VR headset and try this out. Like, it's actually promoting VR rather than promoting a movie.
Yeah, so, that's what I feel like. And with the acquisition of Insomniac, I feel like this might be something. I think there's no question about it when it comes to this next gen headset, that we will see some form of Spider-Man VR one way or another. And it's probably going to be developed by Insomniac. It'll probably be either a standalone game. I'd have to imagine it's a standalone versus just one of these hybrids that they're talking about, because I feel like you could really do something special making a built from the ground up game. Yeah. And
well, I think one of the smartest superhero moves that was made over the last couple decades was separating Batman from the movies, right? So, saying, hey, here's your new series of video games, and it's Arkham Asylum, it's Arkham City, and it's not tied to the release of any movie. It's like it's just its own thing, and those Arkham games were better than any Batman movie tie-in we could ever hope to get. And so I hope that Sony and Insomniac are doing the smart thing and saying, we're going to have this as a PSVR 2 launch title, or we're going to have this, we're just going to like do release a Spider-Man game when it's ready, and we're gonna make sure that when it's ready, it's gonna blow people away, right?
Yeah.
Rather than being like, oh, let's hurry up and get something out for the next movie, which again could be something they do an experience for because it doesn't take quite as long to make. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It would be nice to see something new, but at the same time, I think with being tied to the current OG PS4 and the PSVR 1 headset and the Move controllers, I feel like maybe they've gone about as far as they want to go with free experiences. So I don't know. I hope we see something. I'm not really convinced that we're going to though.
And if anyone from Sony's listening, if you ever need a title for one of your Spider-Man games, experiences, or even movies, the chat has you covered because there are a lot of amazing names.
Ooh, Spider-Man pizza delivery. That would be a great experience.
I like that one.
That's good, Professor
I
Willa.
would love that. Dude, delivering pizzas as Spider-Man? Come on. Like, that should be the next experience that we get. So, to wrap this up, the last movie came out July 2nd, on July 2nd, and the experience came out a week before, on June 25th.
Okay.
So, this movie is set to release on December 17th. So, if we get a surprise release, hopefully it'll be somewhere early into December, and we'll see if that happens. But, man, all I can say is I can't wait till next gen where we get to use the orbs, we get the haptics, the adaptive triggers with the adaptive grips, adaptive triggers with the web slinging stuff. Oh, that crunch, like when you shoot the web and like you yank on it or something. I can't wait to see how they're going to do this, because a lot of this gen was, how do we make this work with the Move controllers? A lot of next gen is going to be, how do we make this as badass as possible with these new controllers? And I can't wait to see that transition.
Yeah, man. Can you knowing how the DualSense feels in games like Returnal, and you can feel almost creaking of the enemies in the controller, to be able to shoot out those webs, and when you yank on it, actually hear the creaking like of the web itself. I can hear it, I can feel it, and I just know in the orbs it's going to feel amazing. So I'm super excited for that. It's going to be great.
Cannot wait. Now
the question is though, can you wait for the new DLC coming to Beat Saber next week?
No, I can't wait. I'm excited for this. I have no idea what it is. I hope it's good music. It's always hit or miss. I feel like one DLC pack I really like, and the next one I don't care so much about. So I've expressed my feelings towards Beat Saber and the way they continue to add on to the game. I think they've had some amazing updates and some amazing packs. But I think the majority overall, I've always felt a little unsatisfied with the mapping, with the song pack, with maybe the pricing of it, just all sorts of different things. So I'll have to wait and see. But I sure as hell will be playing it. I haven't played. I've been all about Synth Riders because I like the music so much more.
Yeah.
In Synth Riders, you can play so much stuff and like songs you wouldn't expect to like. You listen to it, you actually play the song, and you're like, whoa, this is actually a kick-ass song. So, yeah, I'm a little bit more on the Synth Riders train right now. I don't care if it's less popular.
I gotcha. Real quick, because I'm a little behind on tips. Gatorade23, the HTO despising game cat, with a $10 tip, says, "What's up, my dudes? What's up, Gatorade?" I can't help but think how cool it would be if Dez popped in Dave's absence. Much love for Dave, but OG Dez would be a treat. Dude, I definitely reach out to Dez here and there, and unfortunately, like, GamesCast is as much fun as it is. It sort of comes together at the last minute, and so it's not often that we know who's going to be on the show until like an hour ahead of time. So sometimes it's really one of those things where I do my best to reach out, and then he's like, oh, I got to work. But Dez is doing great, by the way. It sounds like you miss him, and we all miss him. He's doing great, wife, kids, job. So at least be happy that things are going well. We also get Jamie out with a $2 tip, says Spider-Man webs in orbs. Oh no, my nipples. We love you, Jay. Thank you so much.
TMI.
Way too much. So, dude, I know it's like super popular right now to get on the Beat Saber hate train. and
Is
say
it? I didn't know that.
it really, really is. I mean, if you read the
Then I'll
comments,
take full credit for starting.
sure. But I mean, if you look in the comments on like the Synth Riders review or whatever, you know, people are mad that we've never gotten the multiplayer update for Beat Saber. People are mad that they're not really good about the DLC, and I'm not really there with the rest of you guys. I think because Beat Saber multiplayer I have no interest in until they kind of revamp it and try something different. Because what they did, it doesn't seem like was very good. You know, they need to go back and rework it and make it more Synth Riders like, make it more Mario Kart style, make it a back and forth thing where you're actually throwing different status specs at each other and making it more feel one-on-one competitive with a group of people.
Like
right,
Mario Kart.
Right, instead we're just racing to get the best high score. It's like, that's fucking dumb, man. It's like that's what the leaderboards are for. I don't need to be doing it simultaneously with other people. So I hope that that's what they're doing, and that's why we haven't seen it on PSVR, because they're like, well, no one fucking cares about this thing on PC VR and Quest. So like, why are we going to bother porting it to PSVR when we're like, well, we're just wasting our time, man. We're spinning our wheels. So like, I hope that they're going back to the drawing board and fixing that. And then bringing us like a better version. Maybe I'm being optimistic. Maybe it's a Facebook ploy. Maybe we've all been punked. Who knows, man? I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I'm more critical about their post game support, and like I said, I'm like they've done some amazing things too. The customizable colors update was incredible, and some of the music packs and things have been nice.
And stuff.
And things.
And stuff.
You like that?
God damn it, Andrew Bailey, you're in our heads. But my thing is that I've actually really enjoyed all the DLC for Beat Saber. I thought the Linkin
all
Park.
of it?
No, not all of it. But also I don't like half the music in Synth Riders. So I mean, you know, so I'm not a huge synthwave person. I actually like the OSTs for Beat Saber. I think OST 4 was a little lacking, but I actually like OST 1, 2, and 3. I'm a big fan of what Yaroslav Beck is doing. And then on top of that, again, it made me a fan of Imagine Dragons, which I was definitely not expecting. A few of the Green Day songs are great, and I actually like the new ones, even though I'd rather have the old ones. The Panic at the Disco stuff was good, even though, again, not my favorite albums of them. The only one I really didn't like, honestly, was the Interscope mixtape, because it's doing the thing that Synth Riders is doing that I don't like. And that's, here's one song by this band. Here's one song by this band. And I'm like, dude, I don't want that. I don't want to have...
But you got Limp Bizkit. Come on, man.
Dude, I did it all for the nookie, okay?
Quality over quantity, okay?
Dude, no. This is... I don't like having...
I'm just kidding.
I don't like having this mixtape nonsense. I don't like having one song by a band. I want to have, like, if My Chemical Romance comes to Beat Saber, I don't want the Black Parade, man. I want 10 songs, right? Just the Limp Bizkit. Jesus, what did you do to me? The Linkin Park DLC was perfect, right? We got a cool new arena. We got nice lighting. We got awesome songs, great mapping. That they need to keep doing that. Right, so I think I'm on the Beat Saber train. I feel like they maybe went off the rails a little bit, but I hope they're coming back. I don't know what this new DLC is going to be. A lot of people are saying Daft Punk. That would be really cool, but we'll see. We'll have to see. Real quick, Hugh Guyver with the Australian $5 says PSVR without parole. Fire! Smash the donate button, Tarzan. Thank you, Hugh Guyver.
Smash the donate button, Tarzan.
Also, Dave Station VR in the chat with the $2 tip. What's up, Dave? Hope you're doing well. Says smash the donate button, Tarzan. Wait a minit, that's copy and pasted.
Having fun with us out there,
right?
Man, yeah. Shout out to Dave and the cats out there. I heard he was up at Drew's Delirium Drew, and a bunch of the cats. Hack was up there. Bet you guys had a good time, man. I hope so. Anyway, sounded like it was fun. But yeah, Tarzan, smash the donate button.
We also got.
I had to change it up that time.
You're gonna have to read this one, man, because you get the accent.
Oh, okay. This one is from Alberto. My poem, the game gato. This guy got cojones. He says, smash the donate button, Tarzan.
Wow, okay. I
feel like a broken record here.
And we got Sergeant Frosty with a $2 tip. Says Frosty Express. Toot toot. We be going off the rails. On a crazy train.
Going off the rails on the Frosty Express. It's his childhood.
It is. And we also got Donatello the Scientist Game Cat with the $5 tip. Says, so Beat Saber multiplayer not dropping on PSVR has nothing to do with Oculus owning them. That's the big conspiracy, right? And I would say that's a really strange thing to do to a dedicated fan base where that you're making money off of. You know, it's like, are we really going to convince a bunch of PSVR players to drop PSVR and go buy a Quest because they don't have a crappy multiplayer mode? It seems like it seems. I like to think that video game corporations are not children and they don't act like children, right? But we've been proven wrong many times over, right? Seeing how people
You haven't worked
actually
in a corporation, Brian. I have.
Oh, I have, my friend, and some have certainly worked better than others. That's for sure. But again, we like to think the best of everybody and say, hey, this is not happening for a reason, but we'll see what happens. That's the big conspiracy theory. We also get Dead Ringer with a $5 tip. Says juniors want to know if I can be a guest host. If not, would be a higher tip amount. Change your mind.
Trying to buy. We cannot be bought, Dead Ringer. But I love you, man, and shout out to you and the juniors. Hey guys, hope you're doing well, and thank you for always watching and supporting, man. They're such a fun bunch. I got to play. I played Eagle Flight multiplayer with them for the first time, and Eagle Flight multiplayer was actually good. I was very surprised.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Very good.
Big fan.
Yeah.
All right, man. Of course, we're way behind schedule as always, so let's move on to Kickstarter that launched yesterday for a game coming in 2023.
Can't wait.
Hey, I know. How can you be excited about a game that's like a year and a half away? Oh man. So did you see the trailer for this Jurassic Snap?
I did. I mean, I saw it from your news reporting, and man, I got to tell you, as a fan of dinosaurs, and as a big fan of Pokemon Snap, yes, it is true. I think this looks kind of cool. I think it has potential.
Yeah, man. You 100% nailed it. Like this game is obviously this is a love child of Jurassic Park and Pokemon Snap, and I think it looks really good. This early footage is looking pretty great. It's looking. I mean, a little cartoony, No Man's Sky-ish to me, which I think is cool. To be able to sort of to have a simple task, right, of saying, hey, you got to go around and you got to photograph these dinosaurs. To me, it just sounds like a lot of fun, and it's good. And it's got the baits, it's got the repellents and stuff, which I'm pretty sure is all Pokemon Snap stuff. I haven't played Pokemon Snap since the N64. I haven't played the Switch one.
Yeah, it starts off looking a little basic, but then once they like cut to where they show all the dinosaurs and everything, all the biomes, it starts looking really good. And you really see the full potential. If this looks like this and it is like 2 years out, like it could be awesome. It could be really, really awesome. But we'll have to wait and see. Kickstarters are always all over the place. But I gotta, if they have the supporting, if they get the support they need, then I think this could be really cool. And again, I love these safari-like exploration photography kind of games like Pokemon Snap. So I think I would love this.
Yeah, the developer's name is Dream IRL, which I kind of love. And it was nice. I jumped over to their Discord yesterday and immediately talked to one of the developers who put me immediately in touch with their CEO. And we had a nice little conversation. They basically said, I said, is 2023 like just a placeholder date? Would you want to make sure you don't screw stuff up, or is that really when you expect it? And they said, no. We want to be really realistic about this. We don't want to place a date and then not make it. 2023 does sound like it's legit. On other platforms, like PC VR, you can probably expect to get into an alpha if you back this project like early next year. So like we're not that far away from a playable build. We're literally like 6 months away, it sounds like, from a playable build. But you'd have to be backing it on PC. And then obviously after that I said, what about PlayStation VR 2 if you're talking 2023? And he said, he made it really clear that, hey, the Quest 2 isn't even as powerful as the OG, so it's not going to be a problem whatsoever to get this running on PlayStation VR 1. They have no problems about that. Really, at this point, it's going to be all about is logistically how many people are going to be playing games on PSVR 1 in 2023. That's the big question.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
probably not many. Anikaze says, so does the photo safari go horribly wrong halfway through? That would be exciting. Confuse a Game Cat says, if Pokemon, No Man's Sky, and Robinson had a baby, I agree. Mm-hmm. And then Dan Kiefer says, Pokemon Snap was the death of N64 for me.
What?
That is harsh. That is harsh, man. But all right, guys. So, anyways, looking forward to this. Hope to see more. We'll put that on the back burner for now and
for a year or so.
for a couple of years. Let that marinate, a little bit more. So this brings us to our first mini review of the day, and that is traffic jams.
Man, traffic jams. So this is by Little Chicken Game Company. It dropped this week. Actually, did it drop? Is it out yet? Did it come out today, or is it coming out tomorrow?
No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay, cool. So I'm way ahead of the game with my traffic jams review, and I'm a day late on my I Expect You to Die 2 review. So what are you gonna do, man? It's all right. So yeah, $20, and basically it has you standing out on the street. You're starting off. You're brand new traffic cop, and you're waving cars through. You're waving pedestrians through, and doing your best to not let them crash into each other. I mean, at first, at least. So,
yeah.
Well,
that's what I like about this game.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, please. I think I know what you're going to say.
So that's what I liked about this game was that it's not just stop these people. Like the game actually expands a little bit more so than just stopping these people, letting them cross, and then letting these people go, other people go so they don't hit. There's actually mechanics in the game where it encourages you. It wants you to cause crashes. There's challenges where you actually, that's the fun. And that's how it kind of explores just a simple concept a little bit more, where it wants you to cause crashes. It wants you to cause chaos in certain ways. It wants you to actually get pedestrians run over.
All right. It looks like we're back. I have no idea what happened. I think the internet just went down in all of Worcester for just a second here. AJ, can you hear me? I can't hear you. We can't hear you, AJ. We can't hear you.
Okay, we're back.
There we go.
That's
now
right.
We can hear
mute
you.
Button. I
All
see
right.
Endeavor One. Endeavor One says too much hype. I know the hype is uncontainable. Anyways,
Okay.
So,
All right.
so like I was saying, guys, yeah, I like that the basic mechanics are fun and silly, and then they mix it up with actually causing crashes instead.
Yeah, and this is where I think I disagree with you, because I love how polished this game is. I jumped in and immediately was like, oh my god! I'm like, this looks beautiful. Like, this is a great looking game. It's super clear and sharp, and it's got this great art style to it. And I was just like, wow, I'm kind of blown away. This thing looks nice. Now, obviously, there's no locomotion. You're just standing in one spot for the entire game, or for each of the levels, you're just standing in one spot. And so it's like, all right, well, they kind of get away with stuff, but it just felt good. It just felt really good. And I love the mechanics, man. I love that you point at a car with one hand, and you wave, and then you wave faster, and then it makes it go faster, and then you're doing the same thing. And that to me felt really good. I thought that they could have gone so much further with the core game of saying, hey, direct traffic, man, and try to get these people not to hit each other. And I feel like they didn't go far enough with that. Each level is fairly basic as far as that's concerned. And then you got this gigantic checklist for each level that says, hey, roll cheese into traffic, put out fires or swat bees, and it's just all these things, Andrew Bailey, all these things that that should be fun. That should be fun. I kind of alluded to Jetpack Joyride during my review, saying one of my favorite things about Jetpack Joyride is you're playing the same game over and over and over and over again, but every time you're going for something different. This time you're trying to get a bunch of coins. This time you're trying to stamp on a bunch of scientists. This time you're trying to do this or that, whatever. And this didn't connect with me in that same way, even though it seems like that's exactly what they were going for.
I like the zombies.
The zombies were fun.
They do a nighttime level. So there's a daytime version and a nighttime version. And the first nighttime level I played, there's some zombies that start popping out, and you can either punch them when they get close, or you can run them over with a car. You can direct traffic to actually run them over. So I liked some of those things. But I agree with you that it also could have been fleshed out a little bit more in some ways as well. But I did appreciate them trying to expand on it a little bit. And overall, it's a pretty game. It's a beautiful game. The main character, what was his name? Was it Mario? Was it Luigi?
No,
Mario
I forget.
is like Antonio. I don't know what his name.
The guy
He's
who
like,
was
he's
training
like
you
this-
to be a traffic cop. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a little Italian guy in the voice, but he doesn't actually blah blah blah. Like he doesn't actually speak full sentences. He'll say like two words, then he's like a blah 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 blah, or like hey, it's a me. And yeah, he was actually kind of funny. Like overall, the game is like a silly. It's like just some silly fun that I think some people could appreciate for sure.
Yeah, I think Wolveraza is in the chat, and what's up, dude? Hopefully, I'm pronouncing your name right. I always see you over on Virtual Strangers. He says says $20, asking a little bit much. $10 would have been pretty good. And for me, this sort of reeked of like a $15 game. I know, just like the 1976 Back to Midway, it seems silly to quibble over $5, but I think that's a thing when you look at the PlayStation.
Every dollar matters to me, man. Every dollar matters to me. If you say $17, I will be like, no, this should be a $16 game. I am that picky about every last dollar, man.
Okay, well, I'm not going to go that far, but
Maybe not that big.
But to me, it says something. To me, it says something when you say $15 and $20. It's 15 just seems like a certain type of game, a certain type of experience, and $20, we're sort of exploring this pricing structure more and more as we go, and this to me it just felt a little lacking. There are 5 locations. And again, all 5 locations look great, and each one of them kind of brings its own thing to the mix. But then they reuse each of the 5 locations 3 times. Here's your daytime mode, here's your nighttime mode, here's your rush hour mode. And in unlocking those wasn't terribly satisfying to me. I was like, oh, good, it's nighttime mode. Other than zombies, isn't that much different. Rush hour mode isn't that much different. And I was hoping that Rush Hour would just be over the top with all the stuff. You're so in my head, Andrew. That I was hoping for earlier when I was talking about like saying, "Hey, let's go balls to the wall with all this traffic directing stuff," right? Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right.
Stay out of the chat. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I want 200 cars coming at me while I'm multitasking and doing everything else, trying to check all these things off the checklist. I want to be directing traffic and making it insane, but that's not really how any of this works. You can sort of just ignore traffic and sort of just throw frisbees and shit and to check stuff off the list.
There's definitely some exploits, but yeah, and then there's the multiplayer. I got to give a big shout out to one of the senior developers who was on the who was on the PlayStation trailer, Duran de Raff. I left a comment and I was like, my man's wearing a Carpenter Brute shirt. I'm such a big fan of Carpenter Brute. I had to give him a shout out.
I don't even
that
know
is
what
not
that means.
related. That is not related to the game.
What does that even mean? I don't even know.
But shout out to you, sir. So this game does have like a multiplayer mode as well, which is cool in theory. But this is the thing. I don't think any developer has there's only a couple that have truly figured out like the best formula for multiplayer. There's PvP shooters like Firewall and Alvo.
Yeah.
There's social games like Rec Room and Rec Room. I can't think of anything else that's like a social game. There's been a lot of games that try to do this. One person in VR, the others are on the social screen, or the others using the phones. This game uses the phone for multiplayers, and I like that all they need is a room code, and they can participate. So I saw somebody asking about are we going to stream this? This game would actually be really fun to stream. I think it'd be a perfect kind of stream game. And I could also give out the room codes and stuff, and you guys could all, or whoever streams it can enter the room code from your phone, from the traffic.
Let me tell
website.
you, it won't be that much fun to stream if you're doing multiplayer.
What's that?
Because all they're gonna see, they won't see what you're seeing in VR. The social screen is just like the above map.
No.
Yeah.
You can't stream this from the first person?
Only the single player.
Only the single player. Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not.
there goes that idea.
It would be fun to play with you on stream, but it wouldn't be fun to actually watch the stream.
Yeah.
And I agree. I do like that different developers are trying different things to
Right.
to go beyond the normal PvP stuff in VR multiplayer games. And this was an interesting attempt, but I don't think a successful attempt. I played with a couple people locally, and I played with some of the mods online, and I'll tell you, I don't think it was fun at all. I was in VR.
I thought it was functional, and I thought it was smooth,
thought
but
it was
it certainly
functional and
wasn't
smooth.
like right, but it certainly wasn't like an everybody was having a blast because I played it multiplayer too, and the person on the phone is like just sitting there kind of tapping a phone.
Yeah.
And that's been the problem with these, and it's not necessarily like the game's fault, but it's just something that it's just another thing that is yet to be figured out, something that is showing how VR can still be in its infancy, because they haven't figured out a solution. We've seen what works, and I can count on one hand how many times multiplayer actually is like really functional, really working well, and super engaging for everybody.
Yeah.
But when one person's on a phone, it's not. I don't think it's really fun enough for it. Like they won't be having
Static
a lot
was
of fun.
good. I thought Static was good. I think that there were some games that used the social screen really well. Black Cat Cooperative, things where you're working together to get
Playroom
through.
VR.
Playroom was another great experience. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there are great examples of this, but I just don't think that local multiplayer is a great thing for VR yet. There are a few examples here and there, but overall, this to me just didn't work at all. I was in VR and said okay, I need to crash people into cars, so spawn a bunch of cars and people, and they're just jamming on the buttons. There's no cooldown, no nothing. They're just jamming on buttons and spawning cars and people, and it's like okay. And I was okay. Now I need to roll cheese into traffic. Spawn me some cheese, and they're just hitting the cheese button. There's no strategy to it. I'm just telling them what buttons to jam on. That's it. That's the extent of the multiplayer, and that's boring to me. So,
yeah, but I don't know. Overall, it's a tough one to rate.
yeah, I had a problem with.
I think your review was pretty spot on. I think I maybe enjoyed or appreciated a little something different, but like rating wise, I think I'm exactly where you are.
Yeah, it was a tough one to rate. I love how polished it is. I love the controls. I love the look of it. I love that they're trying something different. I love anytime a developer tries to innovate and says, "Hey, we're gonna make a game about directing traffic. It's all gonna be gesture based, and the gesture controls work great." I love that, but I do feel like after 2 hours, I was kind of done.
Yeah, it's good for just some mindless, like silly fun, just some mindless gameplay that's silly. And I think it certainly had a lot of charm to it, which was nice. It's a very, very extremely charming game.
100%. I think if they had a chance to make Traffic Jams 2, I bet they could blow it out of the water. I think they've got a lot of great core concepts here, and now that they sort of know what works and what doesn't, I think they could make an amazing sequel. So hopefully they get the chance to do that.
That's what it was. I like the zombies more.
The zombies. I thought the zombies were great.
I really like the zombies. Yeah.
That's one of the few multitasking things that made sense to me. Say, hey, run the cars over the zombies, punch the zombies, but keep doing the things that you have to do. Everything else just felt really tacked on to me.
Yeah.
But we did have another game that came out this week.
Woo! I'm super excited to talk about this one, Brian, and that is I Expect You to Die 2. Yeah! I know Nick Mulo's probably fired up in the chat, although I don't see him. Where are you, Nick?
Look, can we let's
There.
just for a second here before we actually talk about our impressions of this game.
Yeah.
How excited were you to play this before you played it?
Like sort of. So this is the thing is I was a little late to the party with the first one. First I Expect You to Die, and I liked it. But I can't say I loved it because it is a puzzle game, and I'm not the biggest puzzle guy. I know that's a shock to some of you, but but I like James Bond movies, and like I remember being so fascinated with the intro of the first game, and I love the concept of it and stuff. The voice acting, the humor and stuff, I don't think really landed for me, but I thought it was really clever, really charming, and pretty innovative in a lot of ways, and I love spy movies, and I'm a big James Bond fan, so in that way I connected with it. I figured, I just assumed, because watching Shell Games grow over the years, they've been getting better and better and better. Mm-hmm. The amount that they're progressing is different, but is maybe like, a little tougher to explain, but they constantly seem like they're improving, so I expected this to be improved.
Well, after playing the first one and loving all the DLC, and what was great about the first one was that it felt a little like they under-delivered at first. They gave us 4 missions, and it was $25, and it was great. It was polished. But then they kept delivering that DLC. They said, "Hey, here's another mission for free." And it was like, "Oh, okay, great." And it was big. And then here's another mission for free, and it was even bigger. And then here's another mission for free, and it was even bigger. And it felt like they doubled the size of the game with just 3 more missions, right, without even giving us 4. They doubled the size of the game and made the value just fucking skyrocket. But I'm not a James Bond fan. I'm not like the whole setting doesn't really appeal to me. So even though I loved the first game, I sort of had my fill. And so going into this, I was, yeah, okay, good. I got to review this, and I know everyone else is excited for it, so I'm going to have to play it, and I'm going to have to get through it. It's just me being totally transparent. I was just sort of done with I Expect You to Die, and a big part of me was thinking they're not going to add enough to this to differentiate it from the first game, and I was very nervous that it was going to be just that feel like 6 more pieces of DLC for the first game. And in the minute I jumped into it, I finally got around to playing it last night. I played through the entire thing from beginning to end in about 3.5 hours, 3 hours, 45 minutes. And I fell in love with the series all over again. I said, I don't care if it feels like more DLC, which it does. It is amazing, and it's super polished, and it feels so good just to fuck around in that game. Oh, I want to open up every single drawer. I want to pick up every single piece of paper. I want to see how things work together. I want to light things on fire. I want to use my telekinesis. Like, it just feels good to be in these worlds. And this is, I'm jumping around a lot right now, but I'm going to tell you, this is what I needed last night. After playing Fracked and Traffic Jams and all these other games where I'm standing up and waving traffic and jumping and climbing and hiding and whatever, I got to pull out my chair. I got to pull out an office chair, put it in front of my PSVR camera, and sit there with 2 Move controllers and just do this for 3.5 hours. Just get to casually play a game where I didn't have to jump up and down. It felt good. It was really relaxing, even though there were some stressful moments. But yeah, so anyway, I kind of went on a tangent there. What were your first impressions?
The intro. I really liked the intro to this one as well. James Bond intros have always been pretty iconic. Yep. They've usually gotten a guest star singer, and this game is no exception. The beginning, the intro was a little bit shorter and than the last one, but they had I noticed this from the credits. Puddle's Pity Party did the intro, who I know from getting lost down the YouTube rabbit hole and was on, it was like American Idol. No, not American Idol, because I never watched that. The America's Got Talent, that he was on there. He was this guy that dressed as a clown, and he was like this gray, black and white clown, and he came out and he could belt. And he sounded amazing, and so he did some covers and stuff. He does like jazz covers or like classical jazzy stylish covers of songs. So he was the voice of the intro, which I thought was really cool, and because he sounds excellent, and so that was cool. That cool little side fact on that, but also I think what it is about this game that I think separates it from the first one for me is this felt. What I love about I Expect You to Die is it's very narrative driven. Mm-hmm. It's heavily story driven. And this one felt a little bit more adventurous. It felt a little bit more connected and like it flowed better. And like you said, like I wanted to keep playing and keep playing because it was so close to the story each level was that it just did a great job with that. So I really I enjoyed that. I really thought this was more adventurous. And when you talk about like so that's one thing. I've got a couple more great things to say about it too.
Yeah, I was one of the things I was concerned about was that maybe they were going to try to shove too much narrative into this. I was like, oh man, we're going to get cutscenes and we're going to get more voiceovers. We're going to get, and we didn't. I think that they managed to do the exact same thing they did with the first game and it sort of set things up, make things simple, and get you right into the game as soon as possible and start fucking around, which I think they did great. The levels do seem better connected. It does seem like there was more of a flow to it, where each level made sense, one coming after the next, after the next, after the next. Where the first one almost felt like, hey, here's one situation, now here's another situation, now here's another situation, and sort of loosely tied together. But that as narratively, that's the only difference that I found was that they didn't add more narrative. They just connected everything a little bit better, which I was happy with because the last thing I need is to be listening to some voiceovers while I'm trying to defuse a bomb or something.
So we have to mention this, as Endeavor once says, Wesley Crush Out.
Yeah,
Will Wheaton, without saying anything, Will Wheaton, I thought was a very memorable character in this. He's a pretty big character in this game, and you'll find out who he is as you play. But it was awesome. I thought Will Wheaton has a really distinct voice, and I couldn't help but smile considering I just watched like Star Trek Next Generation not too long ago. Even though he's all grown up now and stuff, he has a very distinct voice, and it again brings like a certain, maybe I want to say, I don't know about elegance, maybe charm to it. Charm is definitely a word that I've been using a lot today, but these games have had a lot of charm, and it's nice. But I thought he is definitely one of the more memorable characters. John Juniper is the character he plays, who's like a famous actor, and yeah, I thought he was extremely memorable.
Okay, this is gonna be a tough one. I like Will Wheaton. I'm a fan, right? I'm not a fan of many actors. I don't care about actors. You guys know. Hopefully by now, I like not recognizing people in my movies and video games.
Right.
I didn't recognize his voice in this game. Like I was immersed enough to not really pay attention, and once I realized, I was like, oh right, he is in this game, and that is his voice, and that's his character. I could have done without that, like, because I just don't need it. That's just not my thing. I don't need recognizable characters in my games. I need characters that are voiced well, which I think he did a fantastic job. But him being in it specifically, kind of unnecessary, because again, it's like I didn't. He uses a voice in this game that is not Will Wheaton's natural voice, and to me, anyone could have done that voice.
Yeah, it's a little close though. I think the connection here is that if you are a fan of his, then I really feel like that you just hearing him, you kind of appreciate it, and especially knowing that's him, you kind of have. But I felt like that added to a layer to the character for me, because they even joke about it. Somewhat, and they mention it. I'm really trying to avoid any spoilers here.
Yeah.
So they do make references to it. They make jokes around it. And I really thought that added just another level to the game for me with my personal experience. Obviously, that's not something that's going to apply to everybody. But I did think that was pretty cool.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I totally get it. I'm not saying he shouldn't have been in it. Nothing like that. Just a very, very personal standpoint on this. And honestly, just getting back to what I was saying earlier, this does feel like DLC parts 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 6 more levels, and I don't know, and I don't know what it was. I guess I just missed playing. I expect you to die more than I thought I did, and so getting back into it was a lot of fun. And I think that each of the levels were really, really well thought out. Now, what I'd like to find out before I write my review is how many solutions there are in this game, because what it felt like to me was that there was one solution for each level, but I'm assuming that there's got to be more. I do like the checklist style of things. There's a checklist where there's trophies in each level, or a trophy to find in each level, which I really enjoyed.
Right.
I'm still missing one. I need to find one. I forget which level it is.
Seems like it'd be a pretty fun game to platinum. I assume it has a platinum.
Yeah, it does.
This is a good one. In terms of replay value, so that's one of the things about this game is there's no checkpoints in this, and I found that a little frustrating at times, where I would either make a mistake, and then like I would have to start all the way from the beginning again. But I don't think that bothered me as much as like I wanted to have fun and die. I have this thing where I like to die in video games by ridiculous ways, and this game is perfect for that. But it stopped me knowing that every single time I did that, like I would love to just play around with something and blow up and then start from a checkpoint once again. But knowing that I'd have to start from all the way from the beginning, I didn't really get to like experiment as much as I want to, or dick around as much as I want to, have more fun. So one of the few drawbacks I thought was that there are no checkpoints, and for me personally, who likes to blow myself up on purpose and because that's fun for me, I didn't get to do that, and that's maybe more of a personal thing. But in terms of replaying it, I would do it. It does set it up nicely to where you can kind of, if you know what to do, you can quickly go back to solving things.
That's what I was going to say. It's so easy to get back to where you were. If you die, like even at the end of a level, figuring out how to get to the end of the level is the time-consuming part. And then once you know what to do, like there was one where you've got to get through this system of lasers and then unlock a desk and do this whole thing. And it's like, and I died right near the end of it a couple times, and it was like, oh, what the, this is so, and then I was like, oh, to like within 2 minutes I was back to where I was. I was like, oh, this is nothing, man. This is nothing. So I do like it's kind of traditional puzzle solving, sort of a traditional puzzle solving game in that sense, where figuring out how to do it is the time-consuming part, and then once you know what to do, it's boom, really, really fast.
Certainly helps.
Yeah. Now, I didn't get to do any of the time trials yet. I know that there's a drawer in your surveillance van that has slots for all these wristwatches. It looks like, and I only saw a wristwatch in the very first level. And I don't know if you have to wear that wristwatch or what the deal is in order to initiate a speed run, or if you just do the speed run. I don't know how it works, because again, I just wanted to play through the full game before GAMESCAST today.
Right.
But I'm definitely looking forward to checking that out tonight before I write my review.
Yeah, definitely explore it all. If there's extra replay value, that's going to be great, because I personally think this is a fantastic, polished adventure, very James Bond-esque. And one thing I didn't mention yet was I really love how you interact with everything in the game. It's cool to have stuff in VR that you interact with, but we were talking about traffic jams. It's like it doesn't really mean a whole lot just to pick up a block of cheese and throw it. But with this, it's like everything. There's extra stuff that you can interact with for fun, but there's everything you do to solve the puzzles in this and get out of and escape all these deadly situations. I thought there was tons of really fun ways and clever puzzles, cool things to interact with. Lasers shooting out, and you have like a metal pan that you're like deflecting the lasers into something else and blowing it up. And yeah, it's just really, really badass stuff here that I thought was really cool. Did you find this game easy at all? Like a little too easy?
Super easy, yeah. I think I struggled with the first game quite a bit, like a lot of it. And I don't know if they maybe took player feedback into account here, because the first two stages I was like, oh, this is classic. I expect you to die, because I think like I said, it took me about 3 hours and 45 minutes to play the game from beginning to end, and I would say half of that was the first 2 levels. And so I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just me getting reacclimated to the shell game style of puzzle solving.
Yeah.
Because I must have played those first 2 levels over and over and over, like 10 times each. It just going, what the fuck am I missing? What am I doing wrong? Oh, okay, and just getting one step further before I died each time. And then I guess I got the hang of it, or the last 4 levels were just way easier, and I kind of just blasted through them without too much of an issue.
Yeah, I definitely got stuck a couple times. I will forgive the slight bit of easiness. You are way better than puzzle games than me. Everybody is better than puzzle games at puzzle games than me. So I struggled for sure a little bit, but I still felt like maybe not the most challenging. But I think they sacrificed maybe some of the crazy, difficult, challenging stuff for just fun factor and pacing, and I'm okay with that. This is one of the few puzzle games that I'll kind of forgive. In terms of that, because I think they sacrificed some of the brutal difficulty for some of the fun factor, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, as a final note here, before we move on, I do want to say that if you're curious about I Expect You to Die Too, and you haven't played the first game, don't buy this yet. Play the first game. Well, the first game is on sale right now on the PSVR sale that we're going to talk about in a second, and I would say start with that. And then if you like what you see, then play this one, because this is really more of the same. I almost
disagree. I almost feel like just start with this one. I didn't even finish the first one, and I've been loving this one. So
interesting.
I don't know. I guess it depends on who you are, but because you might get sick of it by that point. But
and that's exactly it though, because since it plays exactly the same, I would say don't spend $25. Spend. How much is the first one on sale for? $12, something like that. Say just because it's a cheaper entry point, I would say get the first one. Lupert the Game Cat with the €2 says, AJ, everybody is better than puzzle games.
I knew I was saying something
did
weird.
You say that?
I couldn't. I couldn't. I just was having trouble talking. I don't know what's wrong with me today. But you know what? It doesn't even matter, guys. Because take a fracking code right here and forget about it. That never happened. Thank you, Andrews. But no, I really did really enjoyed this game. I did. Super polished. I don't know. Is this another $25 one?
This is $25. It's got a 10% plus discount, I think. I don't know if that was a pre-order or
was that pre-order?
It might have been pre-order. I don't know if it was a launch thing as well.
Yeah. If they maybe add more levels, if they do the same thing where they add more levels to it, I mean, you're certainly getting quality here. There's nothing wrong with the quality of the game. Yeah. I felt like it was a little bit more polished than the first one, a little bit more detailed. And I think that's one thing I liked about it more was the first one looked pretty good overall, but this kind of spared no expense on like it just tried to fill out everything to make it visually appealing, and I appreciate that. Guys, son, hell yeah.
Stevie Dan Solo, the Glaswegian Game Cat Purr. That's a name and a half, man. Yes. With the $2 says, I'm puzzled, AJ.
Thank you.
They're really giving
Stevie Dan Solo. Yep, I deserve it. Well, I'm gonna give it back to them right now.
Oh, geez,
with another
fracked
code, this time EU. Guys, that was the last one. Thank you so much for supporting, and
it's craziness.
Thank you to End Dreams.
Craziness. Dude, did you know that there's a huge PlayStation VR sale going on right now in the PlayStation Store? Did you?
Oh my God. This is like the mother of all sales. And it almost has me thinking, Brian, it's not uncommon, if I recall correctly, that Sony does a big, huge, massive sale before having some kind of event afterward. And that's kind of irrelevant to because we're going to go through and give some of our top picks here in the sale. But am I wrong in thinking that maybe when this sale ends, maybe it's things could start getting serious, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, we are definitely coming to a point where obviously it's shit or get off the pot is that shit or get off the pot? Yeah, that's the expression. We're getting to that point for Sony. They said it was so long ago where they revealed the controllers, the orbs, and said over the course of the next year, we're going to be revealing more and more about PlayStation VR to you. And they have not done that whatsoever. And they basically just said, "Oh, here are the controllers, and we're not going to tell you shit." If it wasn't for some insider information, then we wouldn't know anything about PSVR 2 right now. So this seems kind of perfect. This seems, hey, everybody get excited about PlayStation VR again. Go pick up these titles, get shit into your backlog, and then by the way, we're also going to keep you excited about PlayStation VR by showing you something that you're all going to be really excited for, PSVR 2. That there was a rumored state of play that was supposed to be happening, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something along those lines, that got delayed into, the rumor is September. And so it does seem like, this sale ends on September 9th. And so it does seem like it's very, very possible we could be getting a state of play first week in September to kind of keep the PlayStation VR 2 excitement going. What do you think? Is that sort of where your head's at too?
Yeah. I think they usually do a sale like this, a big sale like this right before some kind of event sometimes. Especially, it was like as Yuki, Supertramp Yuki, posted on Twitter, he's like, this is not, what did he say? He said, that's not a sale, that's a closeout sale. Everything must go. And I'm like, that's what it feels like. It's like we're having a liquidation sale here. Yeah. But yeah, man, so we've got a couple picks. Brian, because of time constraints, I've really just, I wrote down some lists. I don't know how you feel about this, but I really wanted to just focus on and make a mention for the ones that I feel rarely go on sale and have the best price right now. Like kind of the best deals and rarest deals. We know Astrobot goes on sale all the time. You should have that anyways. A lot of these games go on sale all the time. So I had just a couple. I don't know if you wanted how many you were thinking about going through real quick.
So just to give you guys the heads up, my goal is to get a video out about this. I know these sale videos are ridiculous. They can take me forever to make. So it's probably about 2 days away minimum. And so if you're interested in hearing every single title, then just hang back and we'll get you covered in a couple of days. But for right now, yeah, we just want to do a brief overview, shine a spotlight on a few games that we think that maybe you need to pay attention to. So what do you have on your list, man?
All right, man. First of all, I gotta say, because I have to mention this one first and foremost, because I've been begging for this. I've been knocking at Skydance Interactive's door and saying, guys, why isn't Archangel on sale? It's been years. Finally, they listened and they said, okay, AJ, we bow to you, good sir, Master AJ. They said that.
Is that really how that went all in down?
They didn't say that.
Went down
they said, please.
Nope.
They said, get off our front door, go away. We don't have any free T-shirts, kid. Archangel is $8.99.
I want to see your inbox. What kind of conversations are you having with these developers?
Hey, that's between me and the devs, okay? No, Archangel is $8.99. Now it's kind of a on-rails shooter, but you play as a mech. It's super beautiful. It's really gorgeous. Benedict Cumberbatch plays the bad guy. Oh, no, he doesn't, but he looks like Benedict Cumberbatch. It's a cool game. It's a cool mech game where you block and you shoot and you blow up tons of like little army people and all sorts of things. And it's story driven. It actually has like a decent story to it. And I am definitely a fan of this game, especially for $8.99.
Yeah, it is so well done. Archangel is so super polished. It feels like if it was off rails, it would feel like a AAA game, but it's a rail shooter, and there's way more going on than meets the eye. I love how you're shooting and blocking, and your shields have a limited durability or limited time, and so it's this weird little dance that you get into, making sure that you're firing and blocking and doing all that at once, and it makes me happy that it's a rail shooter and not off rails because there's just too much going on. Shout out to Creeper Betty PSVR with the $5 tip, says roses are red, violets are blue. I love the Game Cats and the crew. 168 people watching and 71 likes. Click the like button. Thank you so much, Creeper Betty. We love you so much. Really
Thank you, Betty.
Shout out to she sent me a sweet message last night. It's nice to know that the cats always have our backs.
Absolutely, man. We have the best community ever, and nobody is going to take that from us.
Absolutely. Listen, man, as great as Archangel is, I'm gonna totally trump that real quick with Immortal Legacy.
Oh, come on, man.
Dude, Immortal
Legacy goes on sale all the time.
It doesn't matter.
That's your best pick from here?
Not best pick, man. Listen. Immortal Legacy and Doom 3 VR. I'm gonna loop these in together, right? Because both of them have great campaigns. Both of them are super duper fun. Both of them were already really cheap to begin with. They were only $20 each, and now they're both $10 each. If you don't have both of these, especially if you have a name controller, Doom 3 is a no-brainer.
Doom 3?
Yeah, 3. And Immortal Legacy, for people who were looking for a little bit more, and maybe this is going to be a contentious statement, but people looking for a little more meat on Fract, I think are going to really enjoy Immortal Legacy because that campaign feels so much more diverse and so much more fulfilling than Fract's campaign, even though it doesn't have quite the VR mechanics that Fract does. You should definitely be checking it out.
Moral Legacy.
Loop
the Game Cat with the €2 says a Moral Legacy. Where is Justin Credible? I haven't seen him in a minute. I know he's around though.
We probably scared him off with all the Immortal Legacy talk.
Yeah, I love I love Immortal Legacy, but that's one that I hesitate to recommend to just anybody. Again, I'm going for ones that are rarely on sale, which is why I am going to pick next Table of Tales for $4.99 with plus $7.99 just on sale. Table of Tales $4.99 with PlayStation Plus. Absolute hidden gem. Have to play it. Super cool game. Pirate Adventure. Come on.
Yeah, that was on my list too. And I'm not a tabletop RPG guy. Like that's just not my thing whatsoever.
That's true. That's an important note.
It's an important note, but I'm not a tabletop RPG guy, and I loved this game. It's it's a really, really good one, man, for sure. It's hard to argue with that.
I really liked it. I thought it's pretty interactive for being we have a lot of these tabletop games that are not interactive. They're very dual shock, and they're great games. But this actually has like some of the interactive stuff, some great storytelling, some great narrating. Lots of cool characters. And again, we don't have a lot of pirate games, so this to me was like the first like pirate adventure game. Is it the only pirate adventure game we have? I guess.
Battle Week.
Adventure. Yeah. Keyword. So, yeah, it's that's my second pick. Geist and Fist Bump to you. I saw you say that as well. So.
Also, I'm gonna throw one more out there. It does go on sale somewhat frequently, but I love every time it does because it's way too expensive when it's full price, and that's the Pinball FX2 VR Ultimate Bundle. So getting those all those tables separately, buying the DLC packs and stuff. I know it doesn't include everything. This doesn't include like the Universal tables and stuff, but it's super cheap, man. It is. $9. It's 70% off right now. So if you like pinball even a little bit, this is a great time to jump in.
I'll end up making a full list of recommendations and stuff. Maybe just like my top picks, basically. I post it to my Patreon. Shout out to my Patreon. Shout out to Brian's Patreon too. Without Parole's Patreon.
Yeah, and also apologies to my Patreon. You guys got used to some Litterbox episodes, and Jeremy and I have not gotten our schedules lined up. So as soon as we can do that, of course, more Litterboxes will show up. Shout out to Wolveraza. Fucking, why can't I pronounce that right? Wolveraza. Yeah.
Wolveraza.
So I am saying it right. $2 tip. I support peeps that are helping VR. Thanks, good work. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate
Care
you.
about VR, man. Care a lot about VR, and trust me, this gen is going to be insane.
Yeah.
This generation is going to be mind blowing. You're not even ready, man. I know too much. I wish I knew less. You're not ready. I'll give a quick shout to Sirento before we wrap things up with 20 questions. Sirento is $11.99, and I gotta give a shout out to the game with the best locomotion system locomotion design in terms of like gameplay and stuff. Sirento is absolutely incredible. Remember, it got an update that slightly enhanced the graphics. It also got an update that added a lot of new levels. So, good stuff. Sirento kicks ass. I love that game. There's nothing like doing a backflip and shooting a guy's head off with a bow and arrow upside down in slow motion. I'll just say,
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. It's a really great feeling. Yeah, we don't need to go much further into that. I think everybody knows how much we love Sirento. And that does bring us to the final segment of the show, which is PSVR 20 questions. If you guys don't know how this works, then where the hell have you been? Basically, we put 6 minutes up on the clock courtesy of Timertopia. Timertopia kicks ass. And I'm thinking of a game, PSVR game. AJ and all the cats in the chat have 20 yes or no questions to figure out what game it is. You ready?
Let's do this, cats. We got this.
Go.
Let me know when you're ready. All right. Is it a horror game?
It's not a horror game.
Is it an action game?
It's not an action game.
Is it a strategy game?
It's not a strategy game.
Is it a puzzle game?
It is a puzzle game. That's 4.
Is it a puzzle game that I like?
It is a puzzle game that you like.
Okay, that narrows it down quite a bit. I think VR makes some good puzzle games. Does it use moves? Does it use move support?
It does not have move support.
Is it DualShock? Never mind. No, hold on. It's probably DualShock only. I would think. Is it DualShock 4 only?
It is DualShock 4 only.
Okay. Are you stationary?
You're not stationary. That's 8.
Okay. DualShock 4 only. Puzzle game that I like. And you're not stationary. I imagine we're good on. Ooh. Is it a fantasy game? I like where you're going with this, Blue Jew.
No, it's not a fantasy game.
Not a fantasy game. You know, Moss is a fantasy game, Brian.
It's not a fantasy game.
Okay, I'm just telling you, Moss is a fantasy game. So,
I mean, that's a stretch, by the way. When we think of fantasy, we think of like Skyrim, right?
Is it? No, fantasy. Moss is a fantasy game.
Okay.
It's a fantasy adventure.
It's not Moss.
Okay. And it's DualShock 4 only, right? That's what you said?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Puzzle. And you said it has locomotion?
Yes.
Or did you say it was stationary? Okay.
No, yes. I was trying to think of the question you asked. It is not stationary. It has, yes.
Does this game have a hot air balloon?
I hate you. That's 10. Yes, it has a hot air balloon.
It's the game Separation, Brian.
The game is Separation. That might have been the fastest we've ever gotten to an answer. That was really good. Did the chat help you at all?
No, there's just not many puzzle games I like. And I like Separation.
Yeah, hell yeah. Separation is a good one. It is on sale right now, and I highly, highly recommend it. It's not for everybody, of course, but man, for me, it was a super emotional experience. Put the headphones in. Entire game was made by one guy over at Recluse Studios. Martin kicks ass. He made all the music. He made all he did everything. Everything. It's an open world puzzle game that retailed $12 or $12.99 when it launched, and now it's on sale for like, I don't know, something like half of that or something. No, let me tell you right now, Yeah, half off. It's $6.49 right now. Guys, go show some love for Recluse Industries. Go pick up Separation. $6.50. This is one of my I would have mentioned it on my list of games to pick up on the sale, but I didn't want to ruin 20 questions.
Sorry about the noise, Wolveraza. And LC2552Beat says, "Are you sure it's not Moss?"
Dave Station says, "Does it deal with feelings of loss or mourning?" Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yeah, it's an emotional experience, man. Like I said, put on the headphones and take it all in. It's a beautiful game, man. Beautiful game. So, especially if you like the art style of games like Team Eco made with, like, Eco and Shadow of the Colossus and stuff, this reeks of that. Guys, what a great episode. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Had such a good time. I would do GamesCast every single day if I could. Holy crap, man. That would be amazing. Starting next week. No. All right, guys. Make sure you subscribe to Dave over at Dave Station VR. If you don't already, subscribe to AJ over at PSVR Underground. I want to give a shout out to Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry, who puts all the timestamps in the description below, hours after the show goes live. Also, want to give a shout out to Miles Dyer, who runs our Instagram account. Thank you so much. Give a shout out to Jay Meow, who not only is helping us get our website up and running, but make sure that this show is on Spotify podcast services of your choice, like Apple Podcasts. Make sure you go check us out over there if videos are too long for you to watch. Also, give a shout out to everyone who supports us on Patreon, everybody who participated in the chat, everybody who tipped in the chat, all of our moderators who help us out over here, and of course over on Discord. Click the link in the description. Join us over on Discord. Guys, I love you so very much. Thank you so much for hanging out. Everybody, we know you're out there. All the people who didn't even say a goddamn word, man. We know you're out there watching in silence. What could you possibly be laughing about?
Yeah. Top 25 hype, man. I'm so hyped for top 25. Let's go.
Yeah, man. 2 days away. 2 days away. Top 25. So excited. Are you excited? I'm excited. You got new games to come on the list? New games. Tons of new games are going to be on the list, right?
Oh, tons of new games.
Yeah.
Tons.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing, guys. Can't wait to do it. It's going to be an epic, long stream. Make sure you brew your coffee, order your pizzas, get your beer, whatever it is that's going to get you through the show, because Friday's show is going to be a big one. So we will see you then. We love you guys. Let's cue the cat.
You're the cat, Brian. Happy hump day to everybody. See you guys Friday, top 25 hype. Rody the Game Cat, Dusty Mod in the house tonight. Be on your best behavior. Act busy. Daniel Williams, good to see you. Decepticon, GG, Justin Cassidy, meow. Tax refund, the Decalogue defines right and wrong. Game Cat, thank you so much. Dan Keeper, it says after the show, AJ will go play a puzzle game. I might. I am on the last level of I Expected to Die, so that might be a true statement. Elsie, 2552 Beats, the musical Game Cat. You have a wonderful evening as well, my friend. Thank you, Brian, for the background music. Twitch is a single player Game Cat. Good to see you, my friend. David, the speed running. Why isn't he David the speed running Game Cat? Because he speed runs everything. He really should change it. But anyways, Blue Jew, the Underground Game Cat, Elite Name Squad in the house tonight. Thank you so much. And I know it was. We all know the answer was Moss. You know, Brian's lying. He changed it last second. Once we were on to him.
What?
Yep, it's true. That's what it is. That's what happened.
What?
You can't lie. God, the father, mucking Game Cat. Much love to you as well, my friend, Mr. Game Cat Canaveral. What? He just said, I just fisted everyone. I'm guessing he means fist bump. Bagio 10.
Wash your hands.
Thank you so much. Oh, man. Delirium True VR, my dude. Thank you so much for always supporting us, man. Through thick and thin. Love you guys so much, man. Nihilus riding the game feline. V, the PC Game Cat. Hello, our PC friend. You have a fun night as well. Good to see you. Don't be a stranger. Stevie Dan Solo, the Glaswegian Game Cat. Purr. Great to have you as well. Thank you so much. I will give you my. I'll go look at the EU sale and tell you my recommendations over there as well. I don't know if it's the same, but Pacer X, I got to say hello to you too, and et.2k9.now later to yourself. Did I miss anyone? Nick Mulo, Creeper Betty, PSVR, Ash VR, the groovy Game Cat. Oh, I want another Evil Dead movie so bad. If we're just remaking everything, screw it. Make another Evil Dead. They did, actually, and it wasn't very good. Phil Rapchin, good to see you. Emily Baxter, hashtag Game Kitten, Anikazi, guys, Sergeant Frosty. This stream was my childhood. You guys have